What up, everybody? It's Ponter here, and today we've got a special game. It's a game on Farmland, my favorite map, and it's a pub game. Unfortunately, it's also a very low-level pub game. I mean, there are some good players sprinkled in here, but for the most part, the real theme of this is basically how not to play Farmlands, and then from this lesson, we can infer how to play farmlands, and I think it will be a valuable experience for a lot of players just to see here's some strategies. And we're starting off by having an open discussion about the viability of artillery play, because some players have been advocating for the artillery play, and yeah, it's a controversy. This PV8 man is steadfastly defending artillery, and we'll see how that goes for him. And on the other team, well, the teams are a little shaky, but we'll get to those firstly. And Diomar starts off with a beautiful burn. He's not the man for the strategy. And yeah, like I can take if I had a good support player on my team, I could get away with artillery because I know what to do with it. You smoke your friends, you shell the enemy infantry drops and anti-air in that order. You you keep your artillery moving and tucked here, and then you never neglect what little AA you do contribute to the team. And also, if the air gets out of control, you have to know when to make the call, when to not use the artillery. You also don't drop repair tanks, you drop jeeps, and basically use all your available reinforcement points other than the 1900 you would spend on the artillery. You spend that all on medium anti-air and heavy anti-air bunches, so you could have at least two little pods of medium and heavy anti-air clustered together, which is a pretty insurmountable obstacle for most air players. In the meantime, I noticed that they have artillery, so I'm going on a little deep operation. I also want to deny the cap of this for as long as possible because you can see we are leading now because they don't hold the North Farm and we hold the bridge. And I want to make a note. So we've captured the bridge. Oh yeah, and we'll just ignore this fail. Why does Diomar have to defend the artillery noob on their team? Just let me kill him. Can't believe it. And then, and yeah, he lost. Like this is a bad cope. Like you should be able to micro out of that. And it's not my fault that I fly over a spawn. Like who switches the spawn over there? It's brutal. So I get wiped, and now. Here's the other theme I want to talk about, because artillery newbiness is not the only thing that happens this game. Armor newbiness happens quite seriously. Not like our team's armor leaves a lot to be desired, mainly because they don't get like Studerball gets a scout eventually, but it's kind of late. It's coming in now, I think. Yeah, there it is. So that's not too late. But their team has abysmal armor, and it's going to haunt them. Our team is very dysfunctional in other ways, mainly that we have two support players, and neither of them know what they're doing. I'm tilted and busy typing, so I'm a distracted air player. We don't have an inf player, and they have Kickapoo, which is an obnoxious inf. So yeah, it's not looking good for us. And as soon as they add another air player to their mix, it's going to end doom. Like, we can't push. And if you can't push this side or this side as USSR, you're probably going to lose. And yeah, throwing, like, that was voted. That was our support player doing drops in their spawn, like, in the most obvious place. So I'm just not going to comment on that. It speaks for itself. And, a grand total of 2 AA covering a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heavy tanks. It's not a good ratio. At least we have line of sight, so we know what's going on. And yeah, keeping Ponter busy typing saved my AA. Yes, I agree. Finally, I think they're deleting the artillery. The effective counter batterying, I guess, helped after random smokes. And just notice no smokes on us. Like, that should be smoking constantly. It should be like a chain smoking Turkish man in a souk, you know? You should be like, there should have been a cloud of smoke on these overextended tanks. There should be a cloud of smoke on this shit all the time. Like, if you have nothing better to do, just smoke. Look at these 3 naked tanks. They could have been smoked easily. Instead, he's just wailing on like random CPs. You could always squeeze in a smoke. It's so easy. You just hit E, look for overextended tanks, look for where you're going to push, look for where there's obvious gaps. Like, look at this. These guys could easily be smoked. And the beautiful thing is, when you have a scout helicopter or a friendly, smart air player who is hovering over you, you don't need a line of sight. And huge smoke clouds also dissuade air players from diving on you. It's just great, and I didn't see any defensive smoke. Like, that's the strategy to the artillery on this map, is defensive smokes, and also just butt blasting the infantry player. Like, Kickapoo should be in a rage anytime there's a competent artillery player against them. Like, any good inf player, their greatest fear is a good, effective USSR heavy RD. But in the meantime, like, these shitheads are surviving, like, they should be dying. But note how we're not panicking. It's 5 minutes in, they've not decapped this. Notice how much of a shambles this position is. We have basically no AA defending our tanks at this point. We have 2 beat up ones, again, blobbed stupidly. And we're only saved by this guy's lack of scouts. Like, that ranked up tank should be dead by now. But there is no poking going on. Bravo is just sitting in a blob. Clark is just sitting farther back, which is slightly smarter. But here's the strategy for USA armor, guys. You poke the bridge. Because if we do some quick maths, bridge is 1-2, 3-4. North Farm is 1-2. Airstrip is 3-4. If you just poke this bridge as USA, you don't even need to cap it. You put the tick advantage 2 in your favor and can slowly bleed the team out. And then while you poke the bridge, it triggers the USSR team to focus 100% on the bridge, and they will ignore the flanks. And then you can ignore the flanks as well, and then focus again on poking the bridge. And then you just have to farm TA and do waiting for a heavy air support or heavy airstrike, and then throw a light tank across and do some caps and generate TA and score. That's the simple path to victory for USA. What's lacking on both sides' armor in this case is aggressiveness and light tanks. So everyone's just blobbing with heavies. Like, I don't think I've seen a single light tank. I've seen a few sprinkling of mediums from this Damon guy, but they don't count in my books because they're slow. You need light tanks to go do caps. Like, at this point, you have no... Why not just decap? Yeah, you're going to lose some tanks because you overextended past your AA, but we have no tanks covering that bridge. Just decap it. Just get a little bit of tick, and then just play the game of how long can I deny this for. And yeah, the enemy's probably going to recap it, but you gain lead. And I would rather trade lead for a score because I like to win. And yeah, they're just dropping heavy artilleries or poorly microed support is just blobbing. Again, like, you want to have an AA here, throw an AA here, and throw an AA here, and then move them up and backwards depending on the situation. And yeah, at this point, I realize that we are losing, and we are only saved by the lack of aggressiveness and competence by the enemy armor. I mean, it's what do you expect from a pub? And I think this is something that you could really only learn by playing competitive match mode games. But if you play a pub competitively, then you can replicate that in these shitty pubs. And then yes, the game has changed now because we have a second air player, Mr. Glory Hole himself, the vulnerable Majestics, otherwise known as Earl Grey, who's now playing under this Smurf. So we'll give him a color, we'll make him pink. and we could just enjoy the airplay out of him. So us working together might be able to save us, but the ground game is deteriorating. Yeah, we have no jeeps, even though these guys are trying to whore repairs. Oh yeah, that's an air-to-air. Diamer smells blood, and he's going to start spending TA on air-to-airs. And who else? Who knows who else is going to be doing it? We do have an extra player, so that counts for something. Wally, I guess, has decided not to weigh in on this one. And yeah, we've reached. Notice, like, again, they haven't decapped this yet. Like, this is the same fort that's been up the entire for like 10 minutes. So like, not a single decap from these guys for 10 minutes. There's a cheeky air-to-air in the back. But I guess finally we're doing some smokes. Like, that's the first smoke I've seen for our team out of this artillery. You know, disappointing. Very disappointing. And yeah, Donald Duck, meantime, has just been getting absolutely butt blasted trying to push the right side alone. And again, that's because we, like, look, we have 2 repair tanks and an artillery, and not a single speck of AA. Like, there's more AA. Oh, wait, there is an AA forting there. And there's some AA being dropped and then dying. Yeah, we have 1 AA on the map. Well, 2 AA from 2 support players. And then Donald Duck has his own shit. And finally, 10 minutes in, they have capped a bridge. Incredible. Despite having very little resistance. That looks like an air-to-air. Very little resistance from our team. Complete incompetence in the support armor combo. They have managed to cap. And look at the brutal take. Like, they're going to gain back everything they lost against us. Which was we only had that lead because we delayed their capture of North Farm very slightly. You know, and that's why I like Farmland. It's a very stable game, but also unstable. Like, it can move really fast when things go bad. And yeah, like, we are going to struggle to capture this. Like, we have no line of sight. Notice the scout has died. This Damon guy, like, if you're going to do double armor, both armor players should probably have a oh yeah, this is going to be good. Both armor players should probably have a scout. Yeah, and this guy doesn't get it. Like, we have all these tanks that are naked, and the arty isn't even smoking them. Like, the bare minimum that you could do is smoke your team's tanks if you're going to go arty to help them out. And then, like, yeah, double repair tanks. Like, sure, yeah, this guy's going to score really high. But, yeah, Diamer is very, very happy, and Swan's Lock is just so mad, which is amusing. Like, I love players who really care about winning, and this guy loves winning, and he hates losing, and he will express his feelings. And again, like, blobs of AA, desperate decap. I mean, I like that. Like, I would do that too. Like, you should never let this be capped by USA because it's just instant loss. And yeah, there's no hope of us pushing this at all. And Donald Duck is still infantry, but he's just rage going medium choppers because Kickapoo's rage going medium choppers because we basically burned all the woods everywhere. And there's artillery, or there was artillery. Yes, tack means thank you in Swedish. And they lost Yavoy. People have been struggling with connection issues, which is pretty sad. Like, we had 7 out of 7, or 7v7, but then lost one. And lost another one, but he'll be back, hopefully. Now, Voda is going to redeem himself for his deplorable support play with this beautiful carpet. And this thing is a thing of beauty. Just cleans them up. Like, look at all the heavy tanks died. And this is, again, why you need light tanks. Because you have your light tanks in the forward position, and then you keep your heavy tanks back. Like, you should be passive to some extent with heavy tanks. And I do my breakouts, killing jeeps, because there's freedom now. Diamer has a lot of ranked up jeeps. And Kickapoo has been annoying me with his stupid medium air. So I'm going to sack my choppers in order to punish this. And we'll watch this. This is going to be a good carpet. So I get Kickapoo. Superball has switched to... yeah, and that's Ponter's moment. Sure. But, oh yeah, Bravo did the carpet. Redeemed himself. But note the difference now. We finally are taking the lead. And it's just so simple. You have a competent heavy anti-air playing person, you know? That's all we needed. We just needed some support that can spread themselves out. And like, note the different, like this guy was like, yeah, Artie can be good if you have some strategy to it. And then look at this score. He's getting outscored by like 1,000 points by Voda, who is not that good of a support player. Like, he's definitely a pub star kind of level. Like, he's played a lot. But my God, there is a difference in skill here. And yeah, don't blob on the bridge. Put him 1, 2, 3. Then throw your reinforcements around the flank. Because, like, Donald Duck is a good infantry player when he gets some help. Like, look at this. He's putting the spawn raping sniper in there. He's got defensive drops. He's got an APC support. He's got a medium artillery. Like, Kickapoo's going to have, like, a nightmarish time dislodging this shit. And then he's got AA support to keep the air from raping him. And yeah, I'm making fun of Sweden some more. Haha, Sweden is Arabic. That's great. It's probably problematic, but yeah. And again, poor, like, at least they're decapping and defending this. Like, it is futile, but it is preventing us from, it's defending their lead. Like, there's only 4 minutes left. And yeah, the absolute state of Sweden. Yeah, because we're still losing. We're finally going to recap bridge, and all we have to do is decap this. Clark is spamming. Yeah, and this is a great idea. Yeah, let's just push five heavy anti-air across the bridge and blob. I love it. Then he can support the newbie tank. Honestly, at some point you do have to do a crazy, stupid YOLO push like this. Yeah, no air player can expect the stupidity of that, but he gets wiped out. Like, those AA are in a bad position. Like, you can't do that shit. Man, that guy went crash really far. And all I can say here is, like, we should have decapped this. Like, we definitely could have, and we absolutely should have. Like, just pop out, boom, decap for the W. We capture this. That's nice. But yeah, we could definitely still, we're definitely losing this still, and pride is on the line. Diomber said I wouldn't post this to YouTube. And yeah, napalm, that's good. Again, pushing the bridge. Yeah, not a single heavy air support out of the, like, I think there was like maybe one. And that's just not enough. Just not enough to deal with this shit. And yeah, stress is on. Like, we've captured North Farm. Oh yeah, finally everybody's doing it. So people can't complain that, although yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah, pretty bad. And this is the desperation move to win for the W. Dropping a 10-point tank, because again, I don't trust Voda, who's dropping like he's still support. He's doing the drops over here. You know, fuck giving TA to other teammates. We're just going to do it ourselves. But the combination of seizing bridge, attacking North Farm, and then this is like the classic path to victory. And I flared out of most of that. Like, fuck you, Diomber. Should have spent all those air-to-airs on airstrikes. You know, clearing the bridge. Although you really had no help with poor armor. It's just not gonna work. Like, you need a good coordinated effort. And yeah, look, we've got drops coming from everybody. More support drops. And yeah, this is my final kind of push. Like, I want this decapped. So I'm gonna kill the APCs and request the decap. Meanwhile, they've decap bridge, but it's too little, too late. Like, we've seized airbase, and like once you spread out a team like this, it's really hard. Yeah, bridge blobs for the win. This is more like bridge blobs for the loss. Yeah, no matter how much blobbing you think you can do to win, it's not enough. Yeah, as is tradition in these fucking pub games. Yeah, triple armor out to the bridge. I mean, that would have helped if they honestly... Yeah, bad USA armor, lost that. Like, anything could have been... Like, if they had just poked us a little bit... I mean, we still had a pretty major comeback. So the poking of the bridge might not have helped, but it... Yeah. Yeah, and this guy is coping. It's like... Yeah, we only started winning when this guy switched to support, because this support was so deplorable. But yeah, that's a good Farmland game. I hope people have learned a little bit on like how to play this map properly. And yeah, it's good to see the pub server full. It's been a rip-roaring time this last week. So yeah, take it easy, guys, and have a good one.